Alex, I'm going to let everyone in. Do you want to use your podium mic? Shabbat Shalom. If you're joining us online, it is good to see you. Let's see if we can get everybody on tonight. Shabbat Shalom. Good to see you in person, Eitam. It is wonderful. Welcome to Temple Israel of Greater Miami. I'm Rabbi Amy Morrison, excitedly joined on the bima tonight by our cantorial soloist, Jody Rosenthal. It is an honor to share the bima one more time. I really mean that.
Thank you. You as well.
Thank you. So tonight we are going to, hi Jennifer, good morning is the wrong term, but Shabbat Shalom. I want to thank, let's see if Brian's on yet. I'll thank him again when he comes on. These sunflowers are thanks to Brian Leslie, and they, I think, are going to get larger. Do they grow out like that? There's a special mini group. And I want to thank Kim, who is running IT tonight in the absence of Gabe and Maria. Kim is wonderful as a person, and she happens to be Gabe's wife. So it is great to have her doing that, and Alex Kolichkini, who's running our IT, and Mark Nedlin, a member of our Board of Trustees, who is welcoming you. So Brian just logged on. We are going to begin this evening with a good one, a nigun, but it's a mashup, so you'll have to follow along.
I like mashups.
No page number.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. And nigun is great. It's my favorite way to start because I can get you to sing along because you don't have to know any words. It's just lie, lie, lie. I'm not sure if my guitar is coming through. Can you hear my guitar coming through? Awesome. Excellent. It goes like this. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la la la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la.
So Shabbat Shalom to all of you who are in the sanctuary, to everyone who is on YouTube, Shabbat Shalom, and to the Schulmans, Ruth Greenfield, to Mark Lamb, to Francis, to Alan, to my family, to Brian Leslie. These flowers are beautifully displayed on the bima in your absence, but with you here as well. And to everyone, we wish you a Shabbat Shalom. So we are going to, there are a few visitors here this evening, or not yet friends but not yet non-members. Behind me are the bathrooms, so if you need to use the restroom, it's out these two doors. And I would just ask that you would put your phone on vibrate. I promise, if God needs to get you, there are other ways than your cell phone. So we are going to join together now in the lighting of the Shabbat candles, Shabbat Shalom. So I'd like to call up Paula Xanthopoulou to join me on the bima for the lighting of the Shabbat candles on page 2. page 2.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehanlik ner shel
So now that we have welcomed in Shabbat, it is time to literally stand up and welcome each other. I would like to take a moment before you do that to welcome back Officer Hicks, who was injured in the line of duty. Thank you, Officer Hicks, for all you do for us and all you have done for us. And we wish you welcome back and a Shabbat Shalom. Please greet one another as we prepare ourselves to fully be present.
I'm off Shabbat Shalom.
I'm not. Do you want water, Jody? It's always here. Water? Yeah, but you don't get ice water. Mine's ice water.
No, what?
Mine's ice water.
But no, I can't.
Oh, because it's... I invite you now back to your seats as we join together in some Kabbalat Shabbat songs. Page 20.
Lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela b'nei Shabbat nekabela Lecha dodi likrat kala Shabbat nekabela, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, ishmi'anu el ha'miyuchad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad, v'shemo tiferet b'li tila. Lecha dodi Likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'necha,
Verse 2.
Ki mekor ha'beracha, mirosh mikedem nasucha, sof ma'aseh v'mashkavat chila.
Chadodi.
Lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri,
Verse 5.
Ki varechu miori, uri shirar veri, kevod Adonai alayich nigla. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela, b'nei Shabbat nekabela.
We rise and face the back door as we join in verse number 9.
Ui v'shalom ateret bala, gam b'simcha u'v'tzola, toch emenei yam segula, boi chala, boi chala. Lecha dodi,
You may turn back around.
Likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Last time, you can clap. Lecha
You may be seated. We turn now to page 24 for the singing of Shalom Aleichem, a song reserved for Shabbat.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Lachem Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
For many of us in the sanctuary, Judaism came to us later in life. But for some of us, that song has been there since the very beginning. And Will, when I look out there, I don't mean to embarrass you, but I see you singing it with this love in your heart. And I see the Ashkenaz come out of your words, Baruch Hu, I see it. And I think of myself growing up with the conservative singing in the background. I know my dad's screen is off, but the same as you. And so it brings a different sense of coming home to hear that song, Jody, but also a sense of newness, because everyone who's surrounding us has never been sitting in these places around us before. It's pretty incredible to know that Judaism can both be completely ancient and completely new at the same time. And so to hear those words, just beautiful. Thank you for bringing that back to my ears. We're going to continue now with the words of the Baruch Hu, our call to worship. So I invite you to please rise if you are able. We face the ark and turn to page 28.
Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed. Le'olam be seated. We continue now on page 32, a song about the world and the love we have for this world, but a connection that we have to create. I don't know how many of you would sit here now and say, I just love this world, right? It seems almost comical to put that out there. And yet we need this world in order to go out and be better people, in order to create a place where people feel welcome. And so as we give thanks to God for the world that we're in, maybe this is one of the biggest things we forget to say thanks for. We are in this world, and we all depend on one another for it to succeed. Ahavat Olam, page 32.
Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael.
ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובנגד יומם בלילה, נגד יומם בלילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמי. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל, אוהב עמו ישראל.
As we prepare for the words of the Shema, there's one thing we must do before. Grandma Morrison, when she's asked, how do you live to be 104? She says, well, you just keep breathing. The same is true for the Jews. For thousands of years we have been here, and I don't think the plan on anyone else's mind was to keep us here that long, but we keep breathing. We keep putting one foot in front of another. We keep showing up. And whether you are Jewish or Jewish adjacent or just love somebody who's Jewish, all of us in humanity have to show up. It matters. And so as we take a breath, I invite you to take a huge breath in and let go of your week, but like audibly, like, ugh. I see a lot of unaudibles, and I don't even know if that's a word. There's something about letting go that allows the next breath to have the capacity to let in. So one final breath together, let it out, and with your inhale, the potential of this Shabbat. I invite you to please rise as we join on pages 34 and 35 for the Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
You may be seated if it's your custom. The Ve'ahavta is on page 36.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
In a moment, we are going to sing our words of freedom, but it means nothing if we don't help others get their freedom. There are so many times that I think of the narrative of Micha Mocha, where the waters crashed down on the Egyptians, and God says, Jews, don't celebrate so much. Some of my creatures just died. When I turn on the news, there is so much that scares me, and most of it isn't violence. It's changes in our politics. It's changes in our views and our values. It is not okay as a Jew or somebody who cares about values to not vote. It is not okay to stand idly by, to be complacent, to be passive. Our name means to wrestle. That is where the name for Jews comes from. There is nothing passive about wrestling. There is something so beautifully active that we are told, get up, speak out, stand up for others, reach your arms out and bring those people in. Because freedom for us means nothing if there is not freedom for all. So as we join in these words of Micha Mocha, I invite you to turn to page 40 and sing out so that others can hear us and join us.
Micha Mocha, Ba'elim Adonai. Micha Mocha, Nedar B'Kodesh. Nora Tehilot, Osef Eleh, Osef Eleh. Nachutecha va'uvanecha, Bokei hayam livnei Moshe u'Miriam, Zeli anu ve'akelu, Adonai Elok le'olam va'ed. Micha Mocha, Ba'elim Adonai. Micha Mocha, Nedar B'Kodesh.
I don't know if you are like me and Jim, but I have never heard those two put together with the second verse. I loved it, right? You were bebopping, Jim, but like legit like 1950s, like, I don't even know if you were alive in the 50s. I'm gonna say no, and good. And we were dancing along to it. We are going to continue with our prayer for shelter. It is something, again, that we cannot be complacent about. Not everyone has a place to live. This week I got a call from a minister, a Baptist minister, who is still trying to reconnect kids at the border, at the detention center with their families. And it is not a small thing that if you are with your loved ones and if you have a place to live. And so we sing about our gratitude for this thing on page 42.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'Shalom, L'Shalom, L'Hamidenu Shomreinu L'Chaim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Amen. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. 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 Amen.
Page 44. There are two songs always reserved for Shabbat, Vishamru and Yismachu. And although we often skip them on Friday nights because you just can't fit everything, tonight we are just fitting everything, which I love. It says, those who keep Shabbat will rejoice in your realm. It is so hard as a liberal Jew sometimes to authenticate the fact that we keep a real Shabbat. You drove here, I'm using a microphone, my cell phone just texted from one of you. We are all here with the lights on, and all of us, in a halachic way, in a Jewish legal way, have broken Shabbat already. And yet, I don't feel like I've broken Shabbat. I feel like I have welcomed Shabbat. I am in Shabbat. You are in Shabbat with me. And so as liberal Jews, sometimes we're going to have to justify what Shabbat looks like or means to us. Never do so apologetically. We are observing Shabbat. It might look different, but I can guarantee you, I think it feels the same. So as we join in these words of Yismachu, let us celebrate in this day of Shabbat.
And I'm going to make a request because this is Yismachu. This is the joy of Shabbat. So please, sing along, clap your hands, tap your toes, snap your fingers, show some joy, because that's what this is all about, right? Yismechu v'malachutecha, shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'koreh, oleh Shabbat. Yismechu v'malachutecha, shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'koreh, oleh Shabbat. Mekadoshei shevei Shabbat, kulam yisbehu v'yitangu mitu kore oneg Shabbat. Zecher lemase v'reshit Shabbat. Zecher lemase v'reshit Shabbat. You're all doing really, 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 really good. Keep it up. Yismechu v'malachutecha. Shonei, shonei, shonei Shabbat v'kore oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malachutecha. Shonei, shonei, shonei Shabbat v'kore oneg Shabbat. That was joy.
Freilich. We all picked a good week to show up, I'll tell you that. We are going to continue with Hatefillah, with the Amidah. I invite you to turn in your prayer books to page 46. We face east towards Jerusalem. I invite you to please rise if you are able. Adonai tzifatai tiftach ufi agit tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chastei Avot v'Imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah, page 50. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, mechayeh hakol atarav lehoshia, morid hatal, mechalkel chayim bechesed, mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim, zomech noflim verofech olim, umatir asurim, umekayem emunato lishenei afar, michamocha ba'al gevurot, umidom elach, melech memit umechayeh, umatzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'amana talahachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, v'chayeh hakol, atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kdoshim b'chol yom yahalelucha salah, Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. You may be seated. Arya was super into that one. Yeah. We are at my favorite part of the service. You only have to deal with it for 3 more weeks, where we tell each other what we are grateful for when we genuinely dig into ourselves and realize we have been walking sightless amongst miracles all day. So if there's anything that you want to share that you're grateful for and you are at home, at least on Zoom, I'm going to ask you to put it into the chat, and Alex will help us out with that. If you're on YouTube, you go ahead and say it out loud or write it on a piece of paper, but I'm sorry we can't share it with you, but I'm sure it's valid. And if you're in the sanctuary and you have anything you're grateful for, I invite you to please share it so that the rest of us who maybe didn't recognize what a huge miracle that was have a chance to say thanks for that as well. Matthew. Hi. What are you grateful for, bud? You have yellow what? Oh my, you ate the sucker. I got it, it's a sucker. I speak Matthew, yeah. Boom, boom, boom. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But it was delicious? Oh my gosh. You're gonna go last next time because it was so good to hear that. Change to the last flavor. Oh. That's where the sucker holder is. Thank you. I'm grateful for, yes, yes. Jill, please. Oh, don't eat Reagan. He can't handle it. Yes, Jill. Thank God. Amazing. I forgot I need to share it with those people online. So Matthew is excited for his yellow sucker holder. 2 fell on the floor. The third one didn't taste the same, but then it tasted the same at the end. It has to go in the yellow spot in the middle. Yum, yum, yum on Reagan's arm. Yep, I speak Matthew. Jill is grateful not only to be here tonight to be with Jody, but also to be with Ian. They're celebrating a wedding anniversary. And yes. And the love that you share is always palpable. So thank you for allowing all of us to be a part of that as well. Yes, Lee.
I am obviously very grateful to be here with Reagan and my gracious son, Matthew.
Gracious, yes.
That's right. And Samantha safely at home, also celebrating Shabbat. But I'm especially grateful, I was thinking of this before, the Temple Israel. The congregants, clergy, past and present, that have been so wonderful. And from day one, 10 or 12 years ago when I joined, from the first person I met, Jonathan Newman and Brenda Newman, to all my friends here, thank you so much for the nourishment, for the friendship, and for the love that in this sanctuary, on this campus, this temple you provided.
Beautiful. I will totally not do that the justice, but Lee is grateful for our congregational family and for the feelings that come with it. Amen. We're not getting to this row again. I got to go somewhere else. I'll come back. I promise. Yes, Jim. Yes. Beautiful. So Jim is very grateful for Jody tonight and for being wooed by the Yismachu. Beautiful. Yes, please. Yeah. Thank you. So Shabbat Shalom, excited to be with your friends and to be with Will on his last week in Miami. We're gonna miss Will while he safely goes to his other home, but we will miss him while he's there. And to be back after a long time, absolutely. Yes, Artie. Yes, Artie got her master's degree. Wow, Artie has done a lot besides becoming Jewish. Getting a master's degree is an incredible feat to take on. I'm glad that both of you are feeling better. I know that you had COVID for a long time, so thank God you're better. Yes, Reagan.
I'm very grateful to have my brother here. It's wonderful that I got to meet. He's really excited. I'm happy to have my dad here. Happy that I celebrate my birthday on Monday.
Yes. Remember you kept saying it was Sunday, though. And then I was like, no, it's Monday. Reagan had his 16th birthday on Monday, and he's grateful to be here with his family and to celebrate last week. We mentioned it 100 times. It could be mentioned 101. I love it. I love it. Yes, Jackie. Wow. So Jackie made it to her Goucher 50-year college reunion. And in her words, she hooked up with a lot of her classmates. Jackie, in modern terms, like in my generation, that means something very different. So I'm glad that you reconnected with a lot of your classmates, or not. I'm just glad you were with all of them. So it is great. Even Richard French is losing it over there at that comment. Yes, Richard. Oh, thank God. So Richard is grateful that he has some eyesight in his left eye. That is long coming, and I'm so glad for you to have that. Yes. You're it, Cindy? Nothing? I'm going to start calling people out who, okay. What'd you say? Yeah, oh, I missed you guys too. Irit has been in my life for a long time, but I have such sad news for you. Roshi passed this week. And Irit used to always take care of my cat, Roshi. And so that's my first connection. And I'll tell you what, next to her, Cindy's daughter, Ashley, is in my heart always. Ashley, as you know, I did a lot of youth work at Beth Shalom for the 9 years I was there. And there were certain kids that just became a part of me. And Ashley DJs in Israel, and it's just pretty unbelievable what she does as a young woman. And to see her graduate from Tulane, right? I keep up with these kids. They have no idea. I'm such a Facebook stalker, and I love every minute of it. So it is great to have you both here, and it is, please send my regards to Ash, for sure. Anyone else? Before Alex, what do we have online? That was all Francis? Huh? Yes? Yeah, that's amazing. So that's Rebecca and the dog saying grateful for friends and family and the upcoming summer. And then Frances said she's grateful for her daughter coming in from New York. Anyone else on there? Grandma Morrison texted like 14 minutes ago, I'm grateful to be here tonight because last Friday I missed services because I had an accident and couldn't see services. So I'm doubly grateful to be here tonight, wishing all of the members at TI good health and Shabbat Shalom. I am grateful because tomorrow I am the mom of a 9-year-old, and someone who I did not know I could get through 1 year, I am grateful, has gotten me through 9 years. So he is not here tonight. I see Alice is online, which makes me a little nervous because I thought they were gone tonight, but it is great that he is with his grandmas. Anything that you're grateful for tonight?
I am grateful. I'm very grateful to be with all of you each month that I've been serving with you, and especially grateful, Rabbi Amy Morrison, to be on the Bima with you. It's really been a joy and an honor.
I love it
truly.
every time.
Yes,
so
me
fun.
too. Me too.
Can you tell this is not a job when you just, it's not a calling? So Jody has written a beautiful modim, and usually we would join in the modim to make these moments holy that we just had, but tonight we're going to hear a modim. And so let her words and her beautiful liturgy through song elevate all those things we're grateful for to holy, because they really are.
This song I actually wrote, just to give you a little context. I composed this in honor of a rabbi that came into our lives like an angel. And I wanted him to know how grateful I was, Peter Noble.
Beautiful.
May
Page
his
58.
memory be a blessing.
Yes, for sure.
Modim anachnu lach, modim anachnu lach, she'ata hu Adonai Eloheinu, ve'Elohei avoteinu, ve'imoteinu, le'olam va'ed. We thank you for the gifts you bring, for the joy, the wonder in everything, the inspiration that will ring out in all we do. We thank you. Modim anachnu lach, modim anachnu lach, she'ata hu Adonai Eloheinu, ve'Elohei avoteinu, ve'imoteinu, le'olam va'ed. You guide us from within, we pray. You lead us through the foggy days. You challenge us along the way. Just look where we are today. Modi manachnu la, Modi manachnu la, Shatahu Adonai Eloheinu, ve'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, le'olam va'ed, le'olam va'ed.
I would say that I could listen to you all night, but I really could pray with you all night. Thank you for adding that.
Thank you.
We are going to take a few moments of silent meditation. The prayer book can do a really good job, but it can't speak all the words that are inside of us. So I invite you to close the prayer book, possibly close your eyes, and just take a few moments of silent meditation. Don't judge where your head goes. Just bless it as holy.
Oseh shalom, Oseh shalom, b'mroma. Oseh shalom, Oseh shalom, Oseh shalom, b'mroma. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Hu yaseh shalom. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'imenu amen. Oseh shalom, Oseh shalom, Oseh shalom, b'mroma. Oseh shalom, Oseh shalom, Oseh shalom, b'mroma.
This week's Torah portion is Parshat Emor. Emor means to speak. Now, if you were the kid in class that I was, your report card said, could speak less. Does anyone else have that on their report card? It was something that my parents never got down on me for. It's something that I try not to get down on Ezra for. It's something that I think in Judaism we are encouraging of, that we should speak up, that we should express ourselves. I had an incredible conversation today with someone who said, the reason I'm in Judaism is because I can ask why. That makes sense to me. It makes sense that we are questioning people. It makes sense that we don't just take something at face value. We really have to literally make sense of it. In this week's Torah portion I mentioned this morning on my message, we hear about a bunch of the holidays that fall within the year. Shabbat, Yom Kippur, we hear about Sukkot, Shavuot, we hear about the shofar blasting. Almost every special day is mentioned in this Torah portion. But what I love is actually what isn't mentioned. It's the other 6 days that we have to live in order to get to that 7th day, to that holiday. Shabbat is the highest of the holidays in Judaism. Did you know that? If someone said, what is the most important holiday? I would have said, prior to rabbinical school, slightly embarrassing, Yom Kippur. But it's Shabbat, and we get it every single week. One of my favorite books is written by Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel called The Sabbath. It's a very slim book. I talk about it all the time. If you haven't bought it yet, at least buy it and put it on your shelf so that you're partially the way there. And it talks about how we actually live the other 6 days so we can arrive at the 7th. Right? This notion that we have to play hard for 6 days so that we can unplug on the 7th. But part of me feels like I want to turn that afuch. What is afuch? On its head. I want to flip it around. I think we're supposed to play hard on Shabbat so that we can get through the rest of the week and arrive then again back on Shabbat. For so many of us, and I really do mean of us in this room, I see you come back here week after week. I watch what you do on Facebook, yes, again, a little voyeuristically. I see what's going on. I see your life cycle events. But when we come back to Shabbat, it's like coming home again. It's like I've lived the rest of the week so that when we show up here, we can really show up. I don't unplug on Shabbat, I plug in. Does anyone else feel like that? Like they really come alive on Shabbat? I've been unbelievably blessed in my 15 years as a rabbi. I have had the humongous, humbling honor to tonight convert my 45th congregant. That is unbelievable to me, not because of the number, and I don't know what other rabbis have done or haven't done, but because to me, that means that 45 people have said, I want to have that. I want that. Wednesday night, I taught the Introduction to Judaism class, which is the highlight of my life. Literally, don't tell, oh, Cecile's on. It is the highlight of my life to teach this class, because when are you ever going to be in a space of people who are so excited to hear about what makes you passionate? Right? There's plenty of times you turn to the person next to you and you have a great conversation at dinner or out at a drink or whatever you're doing, and you say, what moves you? Or they share what moves you. But to be in a room saturated with people literally ingesting Judaism from 1,000 different angles, maybe 999 different from the angle that I'm coming from. But to be able to share that moment and say, yeah, no, we're lucky, we're blessed. Not more so than other people, but we're still blessed nonetheless. To know that there are people that are out there literally putting themselves in the way of anti-Semitism to join a people that are not celebrated all the time, and frankly, in our existence, seem celebrated less and less, feels so brave to me. It feels so brave. And yet I was born into it. What did I have to learn? I chose to go to rabbinical school. Nobody would have questioned my Judaism. And yet there's people that put themselves in the questioning eye of their family, of their friends, of their loved ones, of people they don't even know. Well, you don't look Jewish. God, I can't even imagine the bravery that it takes to choose Judaism. So when I think about this Torah portion that talks about all these holidays we have, I think, yeah, it's pretty amazing to show up those 10 times, let's say, for holidays to temple. dress up, get a new winter coat if you grew up in the Midwest like I did. Come and sit and be with family and friends. But how incredible is it for the other 350 whatever days, I can't do the math, that you actually just live a Jewish life? How incredible. For someone who is Jewish or Jewish adjacent or loves someone who's Jewish, I think you get what I'm saying. There is something more than religion in this Judaism. There is community, there is holidays, there is Israel, and none or all of those can fill a place in your heart. And you can still sit at the Jewish table. One thing I have loved about being at Temple Israel of Greater Miami is hearing how people came to Judaism, because I have never seen a more beautiful tapestry. Tapestries don't all match, right? They're putting together, especially a patchwork quilt. You put together pieces from all over the place. You got some random Greek piece. You've got a piece from over here that, their family had a Baptist minister. You have a piece over here that their family was Orthodox, whatever. Somehow it just works here. And it's so genuine. There is something incredibly holy about the days that aren't the holidays mentioned in the Torah. But there also is something pretty beautiful about the holiday we get every single week, where we get to come together and celebrate how we uniquely and differently and awkwardly come together in a beautiful tapestry. With Mark sitting there, I think about the symphony. It just came to mind. How do all those instruments that make different sounds sound nice together? And more than sound nice together, give you goosebumps when you're listening to it. Elevate some to holiness. I saw that story of the one woman who was literally moved to a different place when she was watching the symphony. Did you all see that? It was special. She was really literally moved, and you should Google it if you have no idea what I'm talking about. Instruments don't necessarily sound good together when you're tuning, but when you're hitting your sweet spot, those notes, you come together. I think for Jews, Shabbat is our sweet spot. When we come together and we say, I'm here, I'm showing up, Hineni, call on me, I am ready. That's the Jewish sweet spot, and we get it every single week. So thank you for showing up, not just in these seats, but for choosing to show up however you identify, Jewish, not Jewish, but choosing that Shabbat matters to you, because it is a gift God gave us for no other reason than we shouldn't pass by our entire week and not have something that elevates our moments to holy. I pray that we have an unbelievable Shabbat this week. Not more so than Yom Kippur, not less so than Sukkot, just an unbelievable Shabbat. Because you know what? We work hard living life that we should plug in to ourselves, at least on Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom.
Just a nice little nigun to take in the message from Rabbi Amy.
We turn our thoughts now to those who are in need of healing, those in this world, in our community, those in our family, those in this room. So if you are at home, I invite you to enter the names of those you're thinking about into the chat or say them out loud. And if you're in the sanctuary, you too can say it in your mind. I pray that God hears our mind sometimes more than our words, or as much as our words. But if you'd like to share the name of anyone you're thinking of as my hand passes where you're sitting, I invite you to say that name out loud. Lior, Jane, Etam, Shelby, Allison. Thank you. Jim. Thank you. Rob. 1 second, Jackie. Thank you. Where's Jackie? For all those names said out loud and all those names on the screen, we join together page 253 for the words of Misha Berach.
Misheberach Avotenu Mekor Abraham Leimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing. And let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu Mekor Abraham leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We pray for a refuah shlema, a complete and total healing. But need I remind us that our prayers are not wishes and they don't get answered sometimes the way that we think. And so may those who are suffering feel the comfort of those who are thinking of them. And let us say amen.
Amen.
We are still very much in the period between Passover and Shavuot. The Jews are a wandering people with no Torah. And so as we count the Omer, Jody will lead us in this blessing, this song, chant.
And the blessing is on page 278.
278.
You'll find the blessing. Hineni Muchan umzuman. This means I am here, I am ready. We are here and ready to take on the mitzvah of counting the Omer. Hineni muchan umzuman. Hineni muchan umzuman. Lekayem, lekayem. Mitzvot aseh shel sfirat, mitzvot aseh shel sfirat, haomer, haomer, baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu al sfirat haomer.
Amen.
Hayom shloshim yom shehem arba shavuot u'shnei yamim laomer. Today is the 30th day, making 4 weeks and 2 days of the Omer.
Amen. So 30 days ago, I don't know where in the world Jane and Etam were, because they traverse every corner of this country and this world. But tonight, Jane made it her thing to be here this evening to formalize what has been a long journey of seeking, and I hope continues to be a long journey of seeking. And so Jane, I'm going to call you up here with me. While you are walking up, Jane has been in the process of learning about Judaism and becoming Jewish, I think, for her whole life. She has completed the Introduction to Judaism course. This morning she went into the ocean and performed a mikvah We had a Beit Din at noon, and this evening is the congregation's chance to formally welcome her in. I said to Jane this morning, you can come up here. I said to Jane this morning, mikvah is her chance to say, I'm here. Before now, I was still incredible, and after now, I'm incredible, but I did a mikvah, right? That is what changes, nothing inside of her. It is a way that she thinks. It's now a Jewish lens that she can look through. This afternoon, the leadership of Judaism said, oh yeah, we want Jane, we're the lucky ones. And then this evening, it is not just a formality. The congregation has to say, you are a part of us. And so I'm going to ask Jane 6 questions, and the answer is yes, to all of them. I just want to make sure, Kim, that the podium mic is on. At this sacred and joyous moment, we renew our covenant with Sinai between God and the people of Israel, recalling the words of the prophet Isaiah, strangers shall join us, and they shall cleave to the house of Israel. So Jane, I ask you the following questions if you can answer them to the best of your ability. Do you choose to enter the eternal covenant between God and the people of Israel to become a Jew of your own free will?
Yes.
Yes. Do you accept Judaism to the exclusion of all other religions?
Yes.
Do you pledge your loyalty to Judaism and the Jewish people under all circumstances?
Yes.
Do you promise to continue to establish a Jewish home and to participate actively in the life of the synagogue and of the Jewish community?
Yes.
And do you commit yourself to the pursuit of Torah and Jewish knowledge?
Yes.
And if you should be blessed with children, if that's what you want, that question needs to be changed. Do you promise to raise them as Jews?
Yes.
All right, now you have done a really great job so far, but it's our chance to learn about Jane and Jane's journey. So I'm going to pass the microphone over to her, and we're all going to have a chance to meet a lucky congregation who gets Jane as a part of us.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jane, and I'm before you today because I have chosen to become Jewish. I grew up in a very conservative Christian household, and by the time I reached adulthood, I had left that church. Being in New York City for 8 years, I became friends with many Jews, and they shared what they believed, and I was pleasantly surprised. There were temples like this one here today that were accepting of the LGBTQ community. I grew up watching political videos in Chinese saying that marriage was always between a man and a woman, telling us how to vote while we were in our church. I love the space in Judaism for different opinions. I love the asking why. I love not living in constant fear of hell, and that I'm on this earth to make it a better place, tikkun olam. So while I embarked on this journey initially because I plan on raising a Jewish family with my fiance Eitam, I am actually truly here for myself. My chosen Hebrew name is Adira, which means strong or mighty. This is honoring Shoshana Shkop Frankel, who is my fiance's grandmother. She was regarded as the first plastic surgeon in Israel, and she fought for women's inclusion in medicine during a period of time where women were excluded. Her strength fighting for women inspires me, and I view a lot of what I do to be about using the privilege that I have to help others, especially women in the workplace. I want to say a couple thank yous. I want to thank Linda Levin for facilitating the wonderful course, Intro to Judaism, as well as all the rabbis who taught. My poor Hebrew can only be blamed on me and nobody else. I want to thank Rabbi Amy Morrison for always having me walk through the root of why something was written and the meaning behind it, finding more than just the blind obedience that I grew up with. And of course, thank you, Eitam, my fiance. I'm a better me with you. And thank you, everybody.
Mazel tov. Beautiful. So we are going to go ahead and hand you the Torah into your arms. As I spoke about last week, the first words that we're supposed to teach our Jewish children are the words of the Shema, and the last words when we pass away are the Shema. And so before Adira does this, she first needs to get her Hebrew name formally, and then the first words Adira will utter are the words of the Shema. So I invite the congregation to please rise as we take the Torah out of the ark. Come here. It's yours. You got it. Want to repeat after me?
I'll repeat after you. Shema Israel, Adonai, Eloheinu, Adonai, Echad.
So we are going to give you formally your Hebrew name. You stand on this bima surrounded by our community and family and friends, and you hold our sacred book in your arms. You accept its teachings as truth, yet you wrestle with them the rest of your life. You have chosen the name Adira and shall be known with it within this community. But you will always have the name Jane. Your parents raised you to be exactly who you are right now. This is not telling them you didn't appreciate it. This is showing them that the values they gave you are strong within you and that faith means a great deal to you. You will forever have a link to your family who raised you, and now you will ever have a link to the family that you're choosing to be a part of. So I offer this prayer. Misha berach avotenu v'imotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov Sariv charachav aleah hu yavarech et achotenu Adira bat Avraham v'Sarah. May God, who blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless you, Jane, who has now become one of the Jewish people. Now it is our step, the congregation. Our mitzvah is to welcome Jane not only into our community tonight, but always. So I ask the congregation, as I take the heavy Torah out of your arms, to join the cantor and myself in the singing of the priestly benediction, the oldest blessing in the Torah. And your part is saying Cain, Yehi, Ratzon. May it be God's will. That's you saying, oh yeah, we totally want her. So Jane, I'm going to have you come stand and face the congregation. And Eitam, I'm going to have you come up as well, so if someone can hold your phone. This journey is one you've chosen to do yourself, but it is not one that you do alone. Eitam represents the rest of us, as he lovingly gets to hold you as we sing this blessing. May God bless you and keep you. Cain Yehi Ratzon. May God shine God's countenance upon you and bless you. Cain Yehi Ratzon. May you always feel that presence of something larger inside of you and help make this world better because of it. Cain Yehi Ratzon. Siman tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, siman tov, siman tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, siman tov, siman tov, mazel tov, siman tov, Yehelanu, 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 ulecho Yisrael, Yehelanu, Yehelanu, ulecho Yisrael, Yehelanu, Yehelanu, ulecho Yisrael, Yehelanu, Yehelanu, ulecho Yisrael. Welcome, we are the lucky ones. We continue back in our prayer books on page 282. We remain standing, not so quick, as we join in the words of Aleinu L'Shabeach. Aleinu L'Shabeach L'Adon HaKol, L'Atei Gedula Le'otzer Reshit, Shelo Asanu Ki Goyei Aratzot, Velo Samanu Kemishpechot Adama, Shelo Sam Chelkenu Kahem, Vegor Aleinu Kecho Hamonam, Vanachnu Korim, Umishtachavim Umodim, Lifnei Melech, Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. She'unote shamayim beyoser haaretz, u'moshav yikaro b'shamayim imal, u'shchinatu zo begove meromim, u'Eloheinu ein od, emet malkeinu efes ulato, kakatuv betorato,
וידעת היום, וידעת היום, והשבות אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת, אין עוד, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. You may be seated. At this time in our service, although this is the moments that we remember those who are no longer with us as their passing stays with us, we actually honor their lives and the lives that they led, not just the date that they died. So if you are thinking of someone and you'd like to say Kaddish for them this evening and you're at home, please enter their name into chat. And in a moment, I'll ask all of you in the congregation for your names, but first our list of congregational names. Although not yet buried, we think of Dr. Mark Umlis, who passed away. With the family still in Shloshim in the 30 days of mourning, we think of Lillian Shear. We add to that list those observing a yahrzeit, a yearly anniversary of passing. Theodore Abel, Dorothy G. Baker, Paul Barnett, Irving Beinhorn, Robert Belitsky, Marius Blanchard, Lillian Brown, Lori Ann Cohen, Louis Dubin, Samford E. Emmerman, Herman Emmerman, Theodore Firestone, Anna Avrek Frank, Florence Goldberg, Morris Goldstein, Harold D. Green, Bernice Bunny Greenberg, Adela Greenfield, Martin M. Hannes, Alexander Hoffman, Louis Candell, Ann Doris Klein, Charles M. Cronson, Howard Coons, Leon N. Levin, Gertrude R. Levine, Joseph Levy, Benjamin Licht, Helen R. Mandel, William A. Mayer, Phyllis Nabbit, Abraham Pober, Rose Rappaport, Bessie Rubin, Joseph H. Rudnick, Pauline Salzman, Lentz Samuel, Bertha Sarno, Harry Schur, Lillian Seligson, Lester Stein, Walter Stern, Morris Stuzen, Lena Williamson, Jeanette Wolfe, Mandel Zabin, and Myron S. Zientz. If I mispronounced your loved one's name, I'm sorry, and I'll ask you to repeat it again, as well as any additional names of those you're thinking of. Thank you.
Manny Suarez and Stefan Tafel.
Thank you, Will. With all those names in our hearts, I invite you to please rise as we join in one voice on page 294 for the words of Mourner's Kaddish. Yitzkadal v'yitzkadash shemei rabbah, bi'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayachon uv'yomechon uv'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mivarach leolam olmei olmaya. Yitzbarach v'yishtabach v'yitzpoar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yithalev v'yithalal. Shemei dekudesha b'rechu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Da'amiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Zichronam livracha, may their memories forever be a blessing and a lesson for how we can live our lives, and let us say amen.
Amen.
I invite the congregation to please come forward as we join in Kiddush and Motzi. I want to thank Alex Kolichkini, Gabe and Kim, and of course, Jody Rosenthal, our cantorial soloist, who really knocked it out of the park, out of the synagogue. It's wonderful to join together.
Thank you.
Come on into the aisles. We got a lot of newbies here tonight. I know it's just too touchy-feely for some. I felt that way too when I first got here. Got to deal with it, got to deal with it. Gina, will you hold the Kiddush for us? Just hold it. Can you just hold the challah for us? Thank you. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon inchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikra'e kodesh zecher letziat mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta v'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ava uvratzon inchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat 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 Amen. L'chaim. And now we open the challah and join in the words of Motzi. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. We join in our closing song as we wish each other a Shabbat Shalom.
Yalai, lalai, yalai, 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 yalai,
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.